Hi there, tarot lovers and people looking for and open to all the healing that we are in need of in our lives. Our card of the day today is the Justice reversed. So, if you take a look at this card, the Justice card represents pretty much the title that it talks about. It represents all of this just interaction between ourselves and life, between all that is manifest and created in this world. It represents the law and the understanding and the clarity behind what is manifesting. So there's the law of karma here. There is the law of attraction, which speaks about all that is manifest in this world is attracted due to vibrational energetical reasons and is precise and perfect and specific. And inside of this Justice card there is the knowledge that there is no coincidence or chance, that it is perfect, dynamic, vibrational attraction in every tiny, mini interaction between every aspect of life and creation in this world and in all worlds. There are different levels of vibration which are going to jump into the cause and effect dynamic, and we don't see all levels of vibration, so we don't understand all levels of cause and effect, and so it's easy to negate it, it's easy to deny it, and it's easy to pass it off as mumbo jumbo and to selectively think about karma or selectively think about the law of attraction. See, when this card is upside down, there is usually a little bit of denial about the scales being balanced here. It's a little bit about looking at one side of the scales being completely outweighing the other side. And there is a strong feeling of injustice when this card comes up reversed like this. And don't get me wrong, there is definitely apparent injustice in the world, and there is definitely different ways of seeing how unbalanced the world is in general. And it's a delicate topic, I think, to talk about, because when we speak about the law of attraction as a universal law, and the law of karma as a universal law, which means that every single thing that you attract into your life, you do so because of your vibrational need to do so, or your energetical attachments to certain ways of thinking and certain belief systems that will call in experiences into your life. These experiences are understandable, acceptable, very much when they're positive ones, very much when they're subtle lessons or gentle teachings that life has to give us. But when they're harsh, when they're strong, when they come in the form of accidents and bad luck, when they come showing strong lessons, and when they're very intense, dynamic kicks up the arse in our lives, then it's hard to say, oh, that's all the law of attraction. Oh, that's what we called in, that's what we need, that's what we asked for on some unconscious inner level. It's very difficult to own that, and it's very difficult to accept that a lot of the time, and it's easier to sit in a place of injustice and to say, no, that's just wrong, that's bad, I need to cut that out of my life, I don't deserve that, and we start throwing the blame out there on the world for what happens to us. We might not recognize how we attract certain things into our life, and we'll just say that, oh no, it's the other person, it's it's the world out there that's just an unjust system, and I'm a victim of it. We become victims. We lose our power. We give away our power with this type of focusing very strongly on the injustice and blaming the world for certain stories that we're attracting into our life. And it becomes difficult to own our own vibrations that are the energetical magnet and cause for these experiences taking place. And this is really, you know, a big challenge when the justice comes upside down, because we're jumping on one side of the scales and we're putting all the blame on one side of the story. There's an obvious victim and there's an obvious abuser. There's an obvious victimizer. He's wrong. Go put him in jail. You know, and this put him in jail activity is like cut him out of society and throw away the keys so that we don't have to deal with it. It's a little bit like, oh yeah, I'd rather not see that. Thank you very much. You know, no, don't need any of that. And there are times when the best healing and the best medicine is to cut something out of our life and walk away. Yeah, not necessarily with an ignoring energy or with a denying energy, but definitely we need to walk away sometimes, definitely. And then we need to sit back with ourselves and see what part of ourselves actually we can own, and what part of that energetical dynamic we can see inside of who we are. Because with every tyrant on the outside that abuses us, there is an inner tyrant and an inner critic which will, or who will, represent that tyrant, mirror that tyrant in one way or another. We have our own inner critical voice which will tell us all sorts of negative messages, and we have all these belief systems which do not help us and serve us at all, and are our own inner abuser, and will naturally ask for the outer abuser to come along to show us how we are and how we may be abusing ourselves energetically, unconsciously, just because of the patterns that our mind has been taught to hold on to and to fall in towards. And so whenever we get a little bit strongly judgmental to the world out there, or if we're being really judgmental to our inner self as well, take a step out. See if we can put the sword down. Sometimes we need to take the sword and we need to go, wow, cut that out of my life so that I can step back and get a clearer picture. Sometimes that sword is about piercing those veils of unconsciousness to see what is the truth behind this energetical attraction that's taking place. So when this card comes up, it's quite useful to quiz yourself a little bit about how you are creating all the reality in your life, and what parts of that reality you don't want to own. And when you look out on the world, what is it that you might judge as being, oh, that's so wrong, that's so bad, oh, that's terrible, that really triggers me, that really gets up my nose, that really annoys me? Because usually there's something there energetically which will mirror a certain inner voice inside of ourselves, a certain negative critic that we might have. And it's usually the negative side of life that we find hardest to embrace, and we find hardest to see fitting into this law of karmic attraction, which is a universal law and one that is difficult to step out of. So and this is, it's a delicate story, because when we attract very physical negative experiences into our life, these are the harder ones to own, and it's obvious that how can we be responsible for, how can a young child be responsible for attracting negative experiences into their lives? And it's hard to see the dynamics and the teachings and the real gift and the real importance of certain lessons without really taking 10 steps back outside of our lives, understanding the multiple incarnations that we've had, and understanding that death doesn't really exist anyway, and understanding that everything can be seen as a rich experience and a rich lesson, no matter whether it's for the soul of a child who might not have the consciousness of an adult that we think it deserves, or it's the consciousness of an adult which who is, who doesn't seem to deserve to be such a victim of so many things in life, but in reality there is something important there each time. If we don't embrace that importance, we won't empower ourselves to embrace who we truly are, because everything that we attract into our life is who we are, and everything that we call in is a wonderful mirror and a wonderful chance to learn something and see something and experience something. Push it away if you need to, cut it out of your life if you need to, in order to step back and take a look inside. But don't cut away and turn away and run in the other direction, because you'll just run into the same thing again and bump into that same lesson with a different face, and it might seem different, but energetically it will be the same. I know, I've done plenty of running, it doesn't work, and I'm still got so many things to look at and so many things to own up to, and I'm still making mistakes all the time, and I'm very grateful for those harsh slaps in the face, even though I'm not grateful, but I kind of am. It's not always easy to take responsibility, but when this card comes up, it asks us to really embrace our own karma, and that comes from a lot of our unconscious past. So it might mean stepping back to take an extra deep look into our unconscious self in order to find the energetical attraction that we are. Wish you all a great day. Hope this has been a useful message for you. Lots of love.